Welcome to the very first battle of Week 6 of the FNF Victory Road Draft League Season 3. This battle is going to be pitting Startoad and the Milwaukee Mudkips versus Noel and Hypno's Slumber Party, which happens to be me. This is a replay, so I do know what happened already, and it's not going to be in real time. So this battle was pretty interesting and exciting. We have Seed 2 facing Seed 1 in Week 6. And lots of interesting stuff going on in this battle. Both of the teams definitely having some bulky Pokemon that can also hit hard, generally speaking. Some similar stuff repeated too, like for example, grass poisons that like to sleep on both teams, fire dogs on both teams, so clerics on both teams that are fairy type. So lots of overlap, and it's just really interesting to see how this goes. In terms of Mega Pokemon, there are no Mega Pokemon in this battle. And then in terms of Z Pokemon, we have Arcanine with Z Attack, Latios with Z Any. And then we have Entei with Z Any and Flygon with Z Attack. So interesting stuff there. Actually, even the Z Crystal Pokemon kind of mirror each other, the Dragon and the Fire Dog. So yeah, without further ado, I think we could jump in and see how this goes. We're listening to Team Galactic Commander Battle. So we start with Amoonguss versus Nightlight the Clefable. Clefable is going to protect to see what move Amoonguss decides to go for. It is a Spore, which is not surprising. Amoonguss does like firing off spores, so Chamomile, the Vileplume, comes in to absorb that Spore. But Startoad predicts that and goes for the Sludge Bomb, critically hitting Chamomile, taking it down to 62%. And in comes Kaguya, but predicting that as well. Startoad goes for the Hidden Power Fire. That's going to bring Kaguya down to 84% after leftovers. Still not doing that much damage, even though it's super effective. Arcanine is going to come in, and Kaguya sets up that substitute, going to 66% with that leftovers recovery, but it is now behind a substitute. The Wild Charge takes out that substitute, doing a little damage to Arcanine. And there's that Earthquake, bringing Arcanine down to 37%. Arcanine not gaining any leftovers recovery, so it doesn't have leftovers as its items, but Nightlight the Clefable comes in, and Arcanine is going to be brought back up to 86%. The Flare Blitz does 40% to Clefable, also doing a chunk to Clefable. And Nightlight sets up a Wish. Who will come in to receive the Wish? It looks like Clefable stays in, protecting to receive its own Wish. The Flare Blitz is going to take Clefable. It's not going to hit Clefable, sorry, because of the Protect. And in comes Amoonguss, and Nightlight decides to set up a Stealth Rock. So Pajamas the Scrafty comes in to absorb that Toxic. But Shedskin is going to remove the Toxic, and Amoonguss is at 100% knockoff, taking off those that Black Sludge recovery from Amoonguss. And there's a Spore on Pajamas, who does have Shedskin, but Snuggles is going to switch in instead. Florges comes in to face Snuggles the Entei, taking some Stealth Rock damage, but it does have leftovers, so it's at near full HP. Sacred Fire does big damage, bringing Florges to 50% with the burn as well. Wish is up, and Florges is still at 50%. Will someone come in to take the Wish? Looks like Florges stays out, takes another Sacred Fire, which does 43%, and the Defog is going to remove some those rocks. So Florges staying in at 57% now, no Wish incoming, so Arcanine comes in to take the Sacred Fire, and because of Flash Fire, it does not hit Arcanine, who is now fire boosted, but the Stomping Tantrum takes out Arcanine, and the score is now 5-6. Crocodile is the next one to come in to face Snuggles, and Nightlight the Clefable comes in. Crocodile goes for the Bulk Up. The Taunt is going to prevent Nightlight from doing any Stealth Rock. And there's a knockoff on Nightlight, removing leftovers. Nightlight goes for the Moonblast. It's going to bring Crocodile down to 13%, dealing massive damage there. And Crocodile switches out into Florges, and Vileplume comes in. Chamomile facing Florges, both at around half of their HP. Florges switches out into Amoonguss, and Chamomile goes for the Sludge Bomb. That's going to do 24%. Not much to Amoonguss, who shrugs it off rather easily. And the Sludge Bomb's not going to hit Kaguya the Celesteela, who comes in now at 78% with that Leftovers recovery. But Snuggles the Entei comes in, and the Hidden Power Fire is not going to hit Entei very hard, only taking it down to 93%. Swampert comes in to take that predicted Sacred Fire. It only does 14% to Swampert, who takes it very comfortably, now at 92% with Leftovers. And it looks like Snuggles is using its Z move. It's a Bloom Doom that's going to take Swampert down in one shot. The score is now 4-6, and Latios comes in. Pajamas comes in, asleep. It takes that Psyshock. It is immune because of its Dark typing, and Crocodile is going to switch in instead. But in comes Clefable, Nightlight the Clefable. Crocodile now at 26%. Going for the Earthquake on Clefable. I think Clefable just sets up a Wish. In comes Florges at 57%. And Nightlight does decide to set up those Stealth Rock, that Stealth Rock yet again. Nightlight at 97% as Florges stays at 57%. And Nightlight sets up another Wish. Florges decides to stay in and goes for the Defog, as Nightlight also decides to stay in, going for the Moonblast, perhaps to predict something coming in to take the Wish. But Florges comfortably takes its own Wish and is now at 87%. Nightlight at 100%, again setting up Wishes on both sides. This time I do think we will see switching in. Indeed, Chamomile the Vileplume switches in to take that Wish. The Moonblast brings it down to 44%, while the Wish is going to restore both Florges and Chamomile to near full HP. Snuggles the Entei comes in, and there's another Wish going up. Latios comes in to take that Wish, taking the Sacred Fire in stride. It only does 34% to Latios, who takes that Wish, now at 100%. And Pajamas the Scrafty comes out. Calm Mind is going to allow Latios to boost up, and Shedskin removes that sleep from Pajamas. There's a Z move coming from Latios. It is a Gigavolt Havoc. It's going to do 39% to Pajamas, who proceeds to use Knockoff on Latios. No item removed because of the Z Crystal, so Amoonguss comes in instead. Amoonguss takes that knockoff. It only does 22%. And there's another Spore on Pajamas, who seems to be rather comfortable taking that Spore. The Shedskin, however, is going to wake it up. And Chamomile the Vileplume comes in. The Toxic is not going to work against Chamomile because it is immune. Sludge Bomb hits Amoonguss, taking it down to 54%. And the Hidden Power Fire critically hits Chamomile, taking it down to 63%. In comes Crocodile at 32%. Chamomile goes for the Sludge Bomb. It only takes Crocodile down to 10%. 16 after Leftovers recovery, and in comes Nightlight the Clefable. The Earthquake brings Nightlight to 62%. Crocodile at 22%. And another Earthquake's going to hit Nightlight, bringing it to 27%. Nightlight not super comfortable at that percentage. Down goes Crocodile, and the score is now 3-6. In comes Latios at 43%, and Florges is going to come in, as well as Scrafty, so predicting that Scrafty switch in very nicely. Pajamas at 61%, so Pajamas switches out into Kaguya the Celesteela. And there's a Moonblast from Florges. So Wish is up from Florges, and Kaguya goes for the Substitute, now at 50%. After Leftovers recovery. And Amoonguss is the one to come in to take that Wish. Kaguya goes for the Heavy Slam. That's going to do 38% on Amoonguss, who's now at 91%. Another Heavy Slam does big damage to Amoonguss, who tries to break that Substitute from Kaguya. Kaguya now at 63%. Another Heavy Slam takes Amoonguss down to 6%. The Hidden Power Fire does break Kaguya's Substitute this time. And one more Heavy Slam takes down Amoonguss, and the score is now 2-6 with Kaguya at 75% with a Beast Boost, defense increase. However, the defense increase won't really do much. So Latios comes in at 43%, dealing 14% to Pajamas with Thunderbolt. Another Thunderbolt is going to bring Pajamas to 33%, who takes out Latios with the knockoff. Score is now 1-6, and Florges comes in. Chamomile is going to switch into Florges, taking that Moonblast. It only does 20% to Chamomile, and Florges is now at 94%. The Moonblast is going to bring Chamomile down to 23%, and Chamomile goes for the Leech Seed, and that's going to ensure that Florges is put on an additional timer. In addition to that burn, it also is taking chip damage from the Leech Seed. The Moonblast hits Chamomile, doesn't do that much, but it does reduce the special attack, making Sludge Bombs hit a lot weaker. Chamomile now at 30%. So Chamomile decides to switch out, and in comes Snuggles the Entei, who takes that Moonblast. It does 23%, so even resisted, it does quite a bit of damage. Florges is now at 28% after burn and Leech Seed, and Kaguya switches in. The Moonblast not hitting Kaguya very hard, 16%, as Florges is sapped with that Leech Seed. The burn damage also canceling out the Leftovers recovery. So Moonblast is going to hit Kaguya, who decides to set up a substitute, now at 35%, but with that Leech Seed and the Leftovers, it's going to go back over 52%, and Florges is brought down to 3%. Can only live one more turn with that Leech Seed and that burn, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Florges gets that Leftovers recovery, but the Leech Seed takes it out, and that is the game. It is a 6-0 victory for Noelle and Hypno Slumber Party over Startoad and Milwaukee Mudkips. Really interesting match. I think that both teams had a lot of potential and had some bulk, and were able to switch around a lot. The Clerics were really working a lot in this match. Florges going for the Wish, for example, a lot, and Clefable as well. Both teams being able to keep their members healthy. I think that Arcanine going down and Swampert overall hurt Startoad's offensive presence. But really good game. Very defensive from both sides, and defensive plays are really interesting to witness. So interesting start to week number 6. Stay tuned for some more week 6 battles coming up. This is Noelle from Hypno Slumber Party, and I hope I'll see you then. Until then, I'll see you then. I repeated myself a lot, but anyways, ta-ta for now.